This first set is dead even.
Unbelievable combination.
Wow.
Beautifully done.
What a great spot.
Hello and welcome to the 2025-26 APTA Tour. We are live from the Woodstock Club in Indianapolis, Indiana, bringing you the 2026 Indy Open APTA Tour, with live streaming brought to you by the APTA membership and our tour presenting sponsor, Corient. Tournament support has also been provided by the following local tournament sponsors. Presenting sponsors, Matt King Realty Group, top 1% of all Indiana realtors. The Woodstock Degenerates, if you know, you know. Our gold sponsors, High Alpha, Bergen Held, Cooper Enterprises, Dinsmore Law, Taft Law, and Bullet Whiskey. And our silver sponsors, 811 Group, Commissioner Jeff Mounier, Godfather of Indianapolis Paddle. I am Steve Sullivan, along with Billy Horn, bringing this men's quarterfinal match between our number 4 seeds, Tom Murphy and Ronnie Schneider, against Randy Lofgren and Eric West. Jeff Mounier is in the chair. Billy, welcome to the live stream.
Thanks, Steve. Excited to be here. This match is a little bit underway. I am very excited. I've been excited since I saw the draw come out, hoping that these two teams would play each other. This should be a very high energy match with these 4 players that we have here. At the bottom of our screen, we have Eric West, who is our lefty in the gray top, and his partner, Randy Lofgren, in the blue. They are currently changing sides, walking to the top of your screen at home. On the bottom of the screen, we have Ronnie Schneider, who's in the white, and his partner, Tom Murphy, in the all-black outfit. This should be a real battle, Steve.
Yeah, I love to see the return of Eric West, right? He's coming off a season last year, played a lot with Tyler Frazier, one of the top teams, winning tour events. I saw him with a, great victory in Baltimore last year. But, had a newborn, and I think is balancing his paddle with his family life and, his job outside of the industry. So, yeah, looking forward to Eric West. Love watching him play. He's a lefty. I'm a lefty. So, this should be fun. And, of course, you mentioned, Billy, we have not only the dynamic Tom Murphy, but Ronnie Schneider, one of the newer players in the last couple of years, college tennis out of UNC. Really, sort of big racket skill type player that brings a lot to the game.
Yeah, and even though that each of these teams and players brings a slightly different skill set, I think both teams overall are going to play relatively similar, where you're going to see from the net a dominant overhead player, dominant volleyer, and then from the baseline a lot of dynamic ground strokes. But both teams have a player that at net hits offensive volleys, right? Tom Murphy in the black at the bottom of your screen, and Randy Lofgren at the bottom of your screen, both stay very tight to the net and love hitting those offensive volleys if someone drives at the wrong time.
Yeah, Tom Murphy, his athleticism and his movement, you mentioned how proximity to the net is sort of one of his strengths. But he anticipates sort of the float, really nice dig there out of a Nick. He anticipates the movement of the point and sort of sometimes floats across the front of the net, which is super fun to watch. And there's, Randy Lofgren in the blue top you see on the other side. He's also, got size behind him and, likes sort of a la Graham McNerney to sort of sit right there and sort of direct those volleys right on top of the net.
For those of you just joining us, I believe we have 1-0. Murphy and Schneider won the first game, and we're in the very beginning of the second game with Eric West serving. And this is what I'm talking about at the net, where you're just seeing Eric West is, I think, as a lefty, going to take a whole bunch of the overheads, and Randy Lofgren is going to stay really tight and follow that ball wherever direction that Eric wants to send it. Yeah, there. Nice offensive volley. He's right there. He's so adept at soft hands, dropping that ball. Murphy's got to be careful of that. And he should know it, too, because he does the same thing.
Yeah, there you go. So I just popped the weather up on the screen here. So, yeah, it's cold in a lot of places this weekend. Indy's cold. It says 19 degrees and cloudy. We can see the flurries. 11 miles per hour of wind is not, that much, but it's, it's enough just to be another little element. But this is some really cold weather paddle we got going here. Feels like 8 degrees, it looks like.
In the end, this might be a battle. Even though we're watching two extremely offensive teams, this might be a battle of which team can keep their positioning while being dynamic with each other. There's other elements like the 1-point deuce that the men's tour is playing with. That from a Eric West perspective, if he has not played in a tour event this year, that's a little bit of a change to get used to. That sudden death point.
Yeah, you see Eric taking that big forehand. He's got really nice ground strokes. He's got a huge backhand. I played early this morning with a group of people at my club, and I think it was about feels like 5 or feels like 6. So this is, these guys have played a couple matches today. It's around a 32 draw. So two matches in, but I guess the seeds all had a bye. So if I take a look back on the draw a little bit, Lofgren and West. Let's see here. If I go back to the first round, so Murphy, Schneider had a bye. The top 4 seeds and some others had a bye. Lofgren, West also had a bye. So this is their second match. Probably coming pretty quickly after their first match. So these guys should be pretty warmed up. Not clear to me how much paddle Eric West has been playing. Maybe some more league play and some social paddle. He's based in Ohio.
I feel like he's such a player that, he kind of just plays what's in front of him anyways. How much of that, playing at this level is going to matter, where he's kind of a high skill, creative player that when he sees a ball to drive, he's going to hit it. Randy Lofgren and him they've not played together much, if at all, before. But I'm not sure with the skills the both of them have that's going to make a whole lot of difference. If there is a soft spot on that side of the court between the team of Lofgren and West, it would be Randy's forehand. He does like to drive that two-handed backhand and will take it on the short hop. The forehand he can hit too, but it's a little bit more of a chip. That might be where Murphy and Schneider look to reset a point. And we're at 1-1 here in the first set.
Yeah, we're going to try and see if we can settle the scoring issue. Court director and sometimes the devices for the chair umpires, the coldest people on the court today, have some glitches, but we're going to look into that. But yeah, 1-1.
See early on both teams, there it is. Same thing that just happened the previous game in reverse.
And it's even more effective in these temperatures. You saw the last game Randy Lofgren hit, ball barely comes off his paddle, absolutely unreturnable. Tom Murphy's was similar. I think it was such a big ball by Lofgren, it came off his paddle, but that drop shot, that positioning is even more effective, I would say, in this type of weather. Bullet right on the line.
Yep, have to be careful of that two-handed backhand. He can move right up there. You've hit 1,000 balls to his forehand. You think he's not ready for that backhand, and Randy Lofgren is on it, just waiting for it every time.
And a huge dig, but as quickly as he hit that backhand down the line, he put himself right on top of the net. So big shot, big positioning there from Randy Lofgren.
Interesting testing Eric West a little bit early on those backside screens. Not afraid of challenging him there. Both teams settling in pretty early on in this match. Not making many unforced errors from the net. I think you're going to see more points like this where Murphy and Schneider are probing the middle of the court until they get something short. Baiting Randy Lofgren maybe into hitting that forehand drive at Tom Murphy. Good closing down the net there by Ronnie Schneider.
Yeah, you can see that really big tennis forehand set up on his swinging volley. Really likes that shot.
Great forehand. I think just a few too many balls there to Eric West's forehand. It's okay to go there once in a while, especially if you have net positioning, but you don't want to test that forehand too often. Don't want to give him a early match rhythm on that. Let his confidence build there, and that's a problem. Two-1 Murphy Schneider first set. Everybody's on serve. You can hear some Avett brothers playing in the background.
Looks like we're getting a mobile device switch out to get the scoring system tested.
So elsewhere in this draw, we have the number 1 seed, McNerney Morgan, who might face a good quarterfinal test with a tricky lefty-righty team, Hansen and Mandel. We have Frazier and Roms, who I'm excited to see back together again this season, playing Heck and Hirsch. And then another quarterfinal, Nunez Powers, back in action after last weekend, playing Ong and Wagner, who just finished a very long round of 16 match, winning 6-4 in the third set.
So you have Randy Lofgren serving. He's got a bit of a unique underhand serve, swinging topspin. You see people like Matt Moyo this season hitting sort of a low dribbler of an underhand serve. But yeah, Randy's got this really high contact point and almost in some ways hits down on the ball with a driving topspin. It's incredibly consistent. I'm not going to try and jinx him here, but it's a very unique delivery, but very effective.
Yeah, he was one of the early adopters to that sidearm serve that you saw come about a few years back. I love watching it from the ad court, which we're about to see, where his positioning is so centered and he's almost hitting it on the opposite side. Oh, big reach. Gets a good angle up the line on that, down the tee, I should say. There's our first break of the match. Murphy Schneider take the 3-1 lead. And those are the things, Steve, where, in a close match, early point errors, both teams very equal skill-wise, but early point mistakes, faults, and missed returns that can go make the difference.
I like the look. You could see, Ronnie Schneider was a little bit off the net, and Tyler was sort of Randy was just probing there for that sort of easier, lower ground stroke. But just hit the net tape.
Yeah, I'm wondering too, though, on the same time, if Schneider and Murphy are almost baiting that, right? That's not Randy's main drive, and by sitting a little bit off the net with the hands that Schneider and Murphy both have, let them take a chance at doing a little chip drive, knowing that you can volley the majority of the time, as opposed to going towards his backhand, which is, as we've seen already, a force. I like the early communication from Murphy and Schneider at the net. They look pretty comfortable right now. Weston and Lofgren are going to have to find ways to disrupt that positioning.
Yeah, they look comfortable. They're sort of moving in sync, and they're reading the lob. Yeah, just missed. They're reading the lob versus drive sort of setup by Lofgren and West very well, and they just sort of look like they're sort of relaxed and, quick 4-1 lead.
Corient is the official wealth sponsor of the APTA's 2025-26 season. Corient is a fee-only wealth manager who puts their clients at the center of everything they do. Learn more at corient.com.
You mentioned, Billy, a newish, combination here. West Lofgren, not really known to play together. This is potentially their first time playing together. Both have all the, skills and level to sort of compete deeply in this match. I think they will, but sometimes a new team, you need to figure out some sort of team momentum and, how the points are constructed, how the, offense is generated, knowing where each other's going. So I expect them to sort of find an opening here.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at the score 4-1 in favor of Murphy Schneider. Really one break, and that break was a couple that was off Randy Lofgren's serve, where there was a couple faults or a couple early points. But once Lofgren and West have the net, they've looked pretty comfortable. Murphy Schneider, same thing. So, if you're West and Lofgren, I don't know if you have to figure out so much something from when you're at the net, but from the baseline, they have a couple questions they need to answer. And I think the main thing is how do we get West involved more? Does West need to change his positioning, go more central? Will Lofgren get more patient? Time will tell in this match. I think this is going to be a match of momentum. I don't think, it's a one-sided affair at all. Good lob by Murphy.
Yeah, good lob and good step. I think he read that ball well.
I think that lob over Lofgren's head is the right idea, but you're also hoping for Lofgren to be the one to back up and take that rather than Eric West to go behind him. You really need Lofgren off the net to be very effective driving against this team. Yeah, can't do that. Partially a result of the great roller overhead by Eric West. Couple early point errors again. Here's where the 1-point deuce has been such a game changer this year. Big hold.
Yeah, big hold, big risk reward shot there. Tom Murphy, that's just such a naturally interesting shot. Everybody wants to take that shot. It kind of comes to you a couple times a match, but tough knowing how tight Lofgren was to the net there. And of course, the volley is Eric West. Yeah, tough one to maybe go after, but yeah, it gets the first set a little closer. Really important game for Lofgren West. New ball, so Tom Murphy's just going to throw one in to make sure it feels right.
This is also potentially a game I think West and Lofgren could take advantage of. You have Murphy, who we've talked about how good of a volleyer he is, but you have him coming in from the baseline with his serve. So you have him off the net right away. If you can take advantage early, you can get into this game. That's the ball I think Eric West has got to pressure a little bit. The middle ball, the dump into Lofgren's forehand. You know, I like a level of patience, but when you can sneak over there like that and get a look at it, just to tempt the net team to go somewhere else. Great get and lob by Randy Lofgren. That's a couple times now that cutback overhead by Eric West has given Schneider some trouble.
Yeah, it's so naturally, like visually going into the corner, but if you can get that back screen first, like Eric West did there as a lefty, just sort of either staying neutral, coming back out, you know, perpendicular to the back screen, or coming back. It's not a natural movement that if you don't play lefties all the time, you see it. So yeah, Ronnie Schneider's got to figure that out, seeing that ball go in. But it's a really difficult, you know, it's that one shot this year that I think has been so effective by people like Guillermo Nunez, who hit that just incredible cross-court / overhead into the corner. So yeah, looked good there from Eric West.
Wow, 3 nicks in a row.
Yep. Oh, I thought Ronnie was going to let another one go through there. Yeah. At some point, you got to recognize, obviously, it's a pick 'em, right? Do you want to pick that ball pick it up off the deck, or let it go into the corner? Sometimes people just have the magnet, right? And yeah, Ronnie Schneider, a couple good nicks there.
Scores 5-2 in favor of Murphy and Schneider, and I just think the one thing that I'm watching from my perspective is Randy Lofgren being a little too aggressive with those first shots, those returns, and making early errors. Other than that, right, when we're in the middle of the points, this is close to 50-50, if not more. But I'm wondering if there's a stat we can see, you know, points under 5 shots and what the discrepancy is there between the two teams.
Yeah, we saw a couple loose volleys by Eric West in the game before. You mentioned, you know, Randy Lofgren with a couple early, you know, takes, probably a little earlier in the point than he might want to go after. And yeah, I think that's the difference. Just some of the loose, short points to your, you know, your comment, Billy. It's yeah, you know, you grind out a 20, 30 ball plus rally, and then, you know, 3 balls in, you go for it and you put it, you know, halfway up the net. Those are tough. You know, you got to figure those things out. This is a team, you know, Tom Murphy has, you know, all the experience in the world. So they're going to have to find a way to not only stay in the points, but generate, you know, some sort of tactical play that's going to get them some, you know, winning points. Yeah.
And Steve, we're not saying, you know, put your backhand away, don't hit it. Put your weapon away, don't hit it. But we're saying in certain points, in certain situations, you got to give it higher margins, especially if you're a little bit behind in a set. You should still be hitting that drive, but you got to make sure you're putting it to smart targets and safe targets. Randy lives primarily in North Carolina, so, you know, wondering again if he hasn't been playing in this weather, you know, bending your knees a little bit lower, aiming a little bit higher than when you're playing paddle in 30 or 40 degrees is an adjustment one has to make. Good bounce back game here from
Yep.
Lofgren West. You could hear Ronnie Schneider saying sorry after that drive. Not that he hit a bad shot, but the shot selection where Lofgren and West were right on the net, not the smartest. Now, this is the game where we need to see if Lofgren and West can solve that net team, and getting a quick point like that, great spot from Eric West on that drive, made Murphy use that chicken wing volley, which is not easy to do against him.
All right, so you see the baseline switch, which tells me that's the ball they want, right? And we saw it on the last point. You can see on the deuce side, Eric West sets up on the return for the backhand, which is not typical at all, but he's got a monster backhand. And this baseline switch is telling me the same thing. They're almost setting up for, to your earlier comments, Billy, like you want Eric to look at that forehand. Now they're saying, yeah, maybe we're going to set up so I look at the backhand.
Right, and the safe section of the court, which was the middle before, is completely gone because now you have Lofgren's backhand also sitting there in the middle.
Yeah. Nice play.
Smart.
And it's a great sort of acknowledgement of, especially if they're a new team. I love the just, hey, let's mix it up. Let's try something different. It tends to make the opposing team overthink the switch and redefine, like, where are targets? Like, where are the safe spots or not safe spots? They basically have to recreate, some of their tactical play. So, yeah, like the move. Yeah, not a lot of teams would set up necessarily this way, but yeah, really like it.
That just the switch needs to happen on a slightly higher or deeper lob than that. It wasn't too deep, and Murphy and Schneider took advantage of it. If you're a team at the net and a baseline team is switching on you, really important to have your eyes forward if you're not the overhead hitter, and to be calling out the switch as you see the players cross each other, because your targets are going to change, and the overhead person hitting the overhead needs to know that the weapons are now in different spots. Even if you do have weapons down the middle and the targets are different, it all starts from the lob, and you can see these lobs are just too much in front of Murphy and Schneider.
Yeah, visually you want to see them moving their feet if they're at the net, past the service line ideally, right, to get them not only off the net, but you mentioned it being in front of them. You have to use the lob, to not put yourself in trouble, right? It's defensive, it's also offensive. Yeah, nice spot there.
Big break. Sometimes you just need to figure out your spots with your drive. I mean, both of those last two returns of serve, they found Murphy's forehand volley, they found Murphy's right hip, where he's looking to close in with his backhand, and both spots, right on Murphy's right hip makes him turn that wrist, break his wrist, and he missed both of those volleys. Four or five back on serve. Eric West serving in the gray, his partner Randy Lofgren in the blue at the top of your screen. Ronnie Schneider at the bottom of your screen in the ad court, and Tom Murphy in the all black in the deuce court at the bottom of our screen. Good overhead by Eric West. Good lob by Murphy, made them switch. West puts the ball in the middle where there's no angles, and you have to drive to the outside of the court, which is tough to do. And we mentioned earlier, Steve, how much we thought this match would be a battle of momentum. Lofgren and West down 1-4. Since then, winning 3 out of the 4 games, 4 out of the last 5 games. And I think it's just going to go back and forth like that, with both these teams being so equal and so similar.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit a few games ago about reining in the offense, or maybe letting the point develop a little further before pulling the trigger. The 3 games they've won, sort of to make this set a little bit closer, haven't been them necessarily playing Murphy and Schneider off the court. I think they've just been a little bit more balanced and tempered, and sort of letting the points, come to them a little bit. And maybe, Schneider and Murphy have hit a couple balls they want back, but they've just sort of tightened up their game. We mentioned they've switched a little bit from the baseline to put that backhand, as well as Randy Lofgren's backhand in the center, which is a great tactical move. So we mentioned it was close at 4-1. It's remaining close.
And you can see that Murphy and Schneider's strategy is still, for the most part, to keep that ball away from Eric West on Lofgren's side, but they're having a harder time as righties, hitting an offensive ball into that space. With the wingspan of Randy Lofgren and the two-handed backhand in the middle of the court, it's much harder to hurt him over there. Unbelievable hitting that shoelace volley that deep. That's the trouble. Oh, he missed it. He missed it a little long. I do like that look, though. That's the overhead that's been doing some winning points.
Quick match update from court director. So Hansen Mandel jumped to a 4-1 lead first set against McNerney Morgan.
I had a feeling that I know Mandel and Hansen well, and I don't think McNerney and Morgan have played them very often, if at all. And I know that they both can be rock solid and really lock it down. And Dan Hansen has the lefty drop shot overhead. I had a feeling that would be a interesting beginning to a match, where if Mandel and Hansen jumped out to an early lead, they could really surprise them. Thank you for that update, Steve.
We will keep watching it. It's now to 4-2. Heck Hirsch, Frazier Rums, 2-all first set, and Nunez Powers on Wagner just getting underway. Yeah, that's that Randy Lofgren touch volley. In this temperature, you're just playing with fire.
Yeah, I don't mind Murphy driving that ball sometimes, but again, it's this 30-all, right? We gotta be selective when we're hitting that ball, and knowing that Randy Lofgren is right on that. I like that shot a lot more. Lob it right over his head, get Eric West moving side to side, hitting overheads. Perfect there. You're seeing the lobs to different targets. You're seeing Eric West having to cover a lot of court. Yep. Good point by both teams here. I like the way both sides are playing exactly how they want to. A little more patience from Tom Murphy at the backcourt, which in a big point I think is really important for them to win this match. Perfect lob. A little short, but right target.
Yeah, these points get really tight knowing that the sudden deuce point follows it. So if you're Lofgren and West, you want to lock down, really make Murphy and Schneider, take a risk here.
That's the lob we're looking for if you're Tom Murphy. Over Lofgren's head. And then if you can follow that ball up with another lob to the opposite side and really get, there you go, Eric West moving so that Lofgren and West are unsure who can cover the court. Good point. Patient point.
Great
There you
point.
go. 1 point deuce, set point and game point. For our players at home, watching at the baseline, what I'm loving is Ronnie Schneider's readiness when Tom Murphy has his forehand locked and loaded. He's not sitting back and watching Murphy hit his drive. He is ready for Murphy to hit his drive and recovering and retrieving the ball after Murphy drives every single time. He's not touching a lot of balls, but he is always ready.
Yeah, they're not giving Ronnie Schneider any real looks.
That's what I mean. He's always ready. He's always ready. Murphy drove that ball. He is ready for Lofgren to take that shot. And there's his set. Great set.
All right, we'll be...
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.
Welcome back to the APTA Tour. I'm Steve Sullivan here with Billy Horn at the Woodstock Club with this quarterfinal men's match between our 4 seeds Tom Murphy and Ronnie Schneider against Randy Lofgren and Eric West. Yeah, interesting set. We see some statistics here from court director. Billy, what's your big takeaway?
Yeah, I mean, statistically, you're looking at very little between the two teams. And I think that's what we saw. I think we saw Lofgren and West start off a little bit shaky, trying to get their feet underneath them. But since then have settled right down. Both sides, battling. I think both sides have an advantage when they are the net team. And we'll see how this second set goes now that Lofgren and West have kind of found their footing in the match.
Yeah, we started sort of leaning in as commentators when the set jumped to a 4-1 quick lead by Murphy and Schneider, and probably overanalyzed the deficit, but felt it was closer. Obviously, West and Lofgren have all the talent in the world. I think they sort of settled into the match a little bit at down 4-1. They won that first game to get to 4-2, and then they sort of stayed there until a really nice last game down 5-4 in the sudden deuce point. You had mentioned, Billy, how you have to avoid the drive to someone like Randy Lofgren who's sitting on the net, and how do you, if you're Tom Schneider, use that lob to go over Randy, either to make him hit it or to have Eric West sort of start moving side to side, right? As a lefty, he can cover it, but that movement creates openings, right, and opportunities. And some really good points that last game that I think just created some different, opportunities in geometry for, that last point. Ronnie Schneider just sort of found a down the line shot that caught Eric West off guard.
Yeah, that last game is the kind of paddle I love watching and dissecting, where you see the net team at moments in the same exact point. The net team is in control and dictating, and then you see it switch very quickly to the baseline team starting to dictate with good lobs and creating movement from the other side at net. I saw a handful of those points in last game, and I think that's now that all four players have settled into the rhythm of this match, I think we're in for a lot of points similar to the last 2 or 3 games that we watched.
Yeah, and I pulled the weather here up on the screen again. So 17 feels like 7 with some wind and some flurries, right? So yeah, sometimes you need that blood flow, and this is the second match for these two. So, they're, fresh legs, but at the end of the day, neither of them had a real tough round of 16 match to get here. But at the end of the day, you have to, get that blood pumping. You have to move, and I think, it took Eric West and Randy Lofgren a little bit, to get going. And yeah, I agree with you. I think this is going to be a pretty exciting, hard-fought set from the beginning is what I'm predicting here.
You look at the prior matches, I think, Schneider Murphy had to play McKnight and Collar, both of whom, have in the past years been national level quarterfinalists and semifinalists. That's, I love seeing all these players, with so many tournaments by the APTA. You love seeing all these players and names who have played for a long time and had a lot of success in the sport come back and play at the local or regional tournaments that they could have access to. Lofgren and West still looking for that switch in the backcourt. They found a good rhythm with it late in that set, and they want to go back to what was working.
Right spot. So we mentioned that earlier, maybe pulling the trigger early, but if you're Eric West, and I'm going to sort of say, keep swinging, right? Because I think them winning this match is going to come from some of those big baseline ground strokes. So yeah, he's got to work that out because he's got that shot in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think early in a game at 15 all is the right time to work through that. And early in the set as well. See if we can find the shots that can help us win this match. And then as games go on and the point value increases, then still take your swings, but try and make sure you're sending them to high percentage targets. That's a good look. Randy Lofgren's lob created a lot more movement from Ronnie Schneider. Schneider left that a little bit short. It's a good opportunity from Eric West. Just execution there.
Yeah, nice handsy first volley by Tom Murphy.
I like the skills showcase that Schneider just put on, watching him change his grips for all his different overheads at net, flash, roller. just think to be effective, yep, better from Eric West. To be effective, we need to see multiple lobs creating movement. There's one. That's two. Yep, that's better.
Great dig there.
He's so fast. Ronnie Schneider is so fast.
Yeah, the ball got a little low below the hips, almost down towards the knees. So, yeah, I like the patience at the net. You know, obviously they got a great transition from Randy Lofgren there, but yeah, he wants that one back. And those were three really quick points that they, you know, gave up in that game after, you know, playing some really good long competitive points. So
yeah, if we look at those early points, the points played where we get to the shot number 10 or longer, that's been pretty 50-50, if not maybe even more in favor of Lofgren West. It's just those early quick ending points that have kept the score close. I think this set's going to be a battle. Both teams know what they want to do. Good lob by Tom Murphy. Smart down the line lob.
yeah, you feel a little bit in trouble when you're Eric West. You go back down the line to hit that forehand. It doesn't feel like a safe shot, right? So yeah, really nice lob there. Down the line lobbing is absolutely one of the best tactical. Oh, maybe played one there.
Yep, but still the side-to-side lobbing by Tom Murphy, kind of asking questions from West and Lofgren. You don't always know exactly where you are on that court when you're moving that much. Good opportunity for Ronnie Schneider, excuse me.
Yeah, I don't think Randy Lofgren knew exactly where that ball was going. He almost went defenseless at the net, which is not his typical positioning, right? He's very grounded. But that was a pretty huge windup. I think Ronnie Schneider wants that one back. Nice little neck there.
Mm-hmm. Can hear the atmosphere in the background that Indy has created for players and spectators. Nice sound system.
Yeah, hopefully they're supporting the spectators, say, with some beverages to warm them up a little bit, some cover, but yeah, nice to hear some music. And the one thing that is undeniable about these tour events is, more and more every year, the crowds are getting a little bigger, that not only the members, but surrounding members coming to these clubs. So yeah, it feels like Woodstock Club today in Indy has a nice vibe in a very cold day.
Big forehands from Schneider. Big point early in the set. Tom Murphy is a smart player. I had not watched a lot of Tom Murphy's matches prior to this year. I've been so impressed with how smart he is with his shot selection and lob placement.
Yeah, this is a partnership. He and Ronnie Schneider started playing a lot last year. I've seen him play a lot also with Andrew Ong. It's a really nice matchup, when Tom Murphy and Andrew play together. But yeah, very, very impressive. And I think he gives teams, a lot of headaches just tactically, like his positioning and, how creative he is, sort of looking for opportunities with his shot selection. Big sudden deuce point.
Mm-hmm. Great hold. And you see the energy from Eric West, that let's go, and the high five for his partner. 1-1. He's feeling it. I think this has been the one challenge. I'm waiting to see if Lofgren and West can create a little more movement from Schneider and Murphy when Schneider and Murphy are at the net. You can see them both kind of sitting near that service line area. Oof. Randy Lofgren is just too tall to do that down up overhead over there.
You know, we talk a lot about the cold weather, how it can, give you a little more ability to hit out in your lobs, the drop shot effectiveness in the cold weather, but that down up overhead in this, the court surface gets really cold as well. You sometimes have to almost spike that thing, especially get it over, the likes of the, size of Randy Lofgren. So yeah, they played that well. It went to the 45-degree spot, which is right. Technically, that's the only spot that should be left open if you guys cover that. They cover that court correctly. So yeah, perfect, Nick.
That's a better lob.
Nice. Just held that. Waited for Randy to move. Showed a volley, then hit the down up.
I also like those two overheads. Oh, did the door open up there a little bit?
It was
I think we had a let there. Maybe a door opened as the match played.
All right.
I was saying I like those. There's two overheads in that point where Murphy and Schneider went through Randy Lofgren's body rather than around him. Like that, making Randy move for those and that one as well, making him move out of the way, make a choice. Not exactly to win a point, but that's a hard ball to hit a good lob on. Wow, great volleys by Ronnie Schneider.
Yeah, I'd like to take by Eric West, but it's just perfect positioning. And to your point, Ronnie was able to direct that volley softly to the side screen and just ungettable by Eric West. I wasn't sure that came over.
I wasn't either. That was a wild shot there. Must have been a drop shot.
All right. You ready for a score update?
Oh, I'm ready. I've been waiting.
6-4. Hansen Mendel take the first set.
Wow.
Quarterfinal number one. Top of the draw against McNerney Morgan, our top seeds. Fraser Roms also take the first set against Heck and Hirscher. They're up 6-3, down love 1 in the second. And Nunez Powers up to a quick 5-love start in the first set. And that's against On Wagner. Yeah.
That's an amazing first set by Mendel and Hansen. They have both played for a long time. They've had success in tour events, getting to quarterfinals. And I'm happy that they got that first set win. Let's see what happens there.
Yeah, McNerney Morgan had a 40-30, serving 4-5, and then it went to sudden deuce, and Hansen Mendel took the sudden deuce point. Yeah, big start there.
On serve here in the second set between Murphy and Schneider, Lofgren West. At the top of our screen in the blue, we have Randy Lofgren, and his partner Eric West is in that lighter color top. And at the bottom of our screen, Tom Murphy in the all black, and Ronnie Schneider who is in that light hoodie on the ad court. I like that from Randy Lofgren, dealing with the 2 punishing drives from Ronnie Schneider and then trying to punish him right back, making a move back to that baseline.
Yeah, a little too much pace and 2 down, but when Ronnie moves forward, I like, right, what Lofgren was trying to do there was, as Ronnie moves into the court, hit it at him and hit it towards his feet with some pace and make him try and dig it out. But yeah, great hands there, great defense.
Ronnie Schneider has a target as he's moving forward there.
And it's a big windup. So I think what's happening is Randy's not quite picking it up, which is, for all the right reasons. It's just a really nice, big, high tennis forehand setup that, Ronnie Schneider brings. So, yeah, really big ball.
Eric West loving that cutback overhead there. Ronnie Schneider, though, doing a better job positioning himself for it.
Yeah, we saw a couple early in the match, Billy, he called out that just had him a little bit out of position. So nice adjustment by Ronnie Schneider.
And that's what these strong teams do, right? They make adjustments individually for their positioning, and they make adjustments as teams, as we saw West and Lofgren do, switching in the backcourt to make themselves more competitive for whatever problem has arisen in the match. Thus far, Steve, this is 2-2. I mean, since 4-1 in the first set, this has been a close battle. I would say that Lofgren and West, to me, look like they are holding serve slightly more comfortably than Murphy Schneider. Maybe that's just my perspective.
Yeah, I think part of the challenge, it's right, we're 2-2, but part of the challenge in this set is similar to what happened in the last set, but they're not down 4-1, it's 2-2, and that's they've given up some very quick, easy, first, second, third ball mistakes. Other than that, and I think this is what you're seeing, Billy, is when they get into the points and sort of let the point develop and hopefully let it develop to, what they're trying to do, they're at least 50-50, right? And that's super encouraging for them that they're sort of winning the points that are going into, the places that is going to really prove who can, show offense or, defend the really tough offense. So, yeah, I like the way this set is setting up for Lofgren or West, but yeah, this is still a little bit early.
Tough to tell, and
yeah.
we can see the discipline right now in this point that all 4 players have. They, as dynamic as they can be, you can see how steady they can be as well. We just have to see which team is going to cause more movement. Is the baseline team going to cause more movement with their combination of lobs and drives, or is the net team, like you're seeing right now, going to move the baseline team around?
Yeah, 5 different looks from Ronnie Schneider with the roller, right? Going both to deuce and ad, but even to the deuce side when he's going after Randy Lofgren, he's doing some backside, some side back, different spin, different speed. So that's just a really dynamic shot that gives a lot of variability, makes the team at the baseline sort of, stay out of the comfort zone, so to speak, and hit different shots.
I love his ability to hit the slow roller down the middle of the court, as much as I love him hitting the faster pace one out to the nick or to the body. Good patience by Lofgren and West in the backcourt at this point. Oh, good disguise by Ronnie Schneider. That's a great point.
Yeah, great point. I mean, we talked a couple games ago, Billy, about how Ronnie Schneider can kind of hold that shot, show one thing, do another thing, and I think that one, you know, he may have developed that a couple games ago, that opportunity for it to be as clean a drop shot winner or, you know, short volley winner. But yeah, that's just really nice technique there by Ronnie Schneider, keeping Randy Lofgren thinking.
Great lob by Eric West. Here we go. Now they have the net where... well, they were supposed to have the net after that lob.
Yeah, Schneider hasn't hit a ton of huge backhands. So he hit that one at the right time. And it honestly wasn't 100%. Just kind of the right pace, maybe 80%. Just over the net, caught them a little bit off, or not expecting it.
You're seeing from both teams, again, you know, like we've said, both teams, when they're at net, have been controlling most of this match. The tempo, the direction. West and Lofgren, you know, not making mistakes right now, but also not causing a lot of movement off of their lobs. Schneider wants that one back. But nice high percentage target by Randy Lofgren. That to me is going to be the difference maker if they clean up the early errors. Great get by Eric West. Good,
Yeah,
good
stayed
overhead.
with it. Yep.
That's an overhead I think Tom Murphy has to be careful with. That cross court to the side screen that Randy Lofgren can cut off. That's better, to the back wall. Don't go to the side screen with Lofgren's wingspan. Yep, boom. Oh. Again, 30 all. You'd think Lofgren would go bigger there. I like the high percentage drive. Oh, little miscommunication.
Right, so what do you think? Was that the ball that Lofgren should have taken? Obviously, West moved way over the middle. Ronnie Schneider moves forward, and West is stuck right in the wrong place and can't chase it down.
Yeah,
it's just communication, right?
It is, and I think though too. I think it's how a lot of how Schneider has established a roller overhead that can go wide. So both players at that moment are looking for him to hit wide, and then when it goes middle, their body weights are both leaning to the outside of the court, and as a result, neither of them can make a quick or confident decision on who takes that middle ball. It's good combinations. These points are 50, 60 shots long, so you're talking about long-term patterns and habits, and going against a pattern that you've set up sometimes can get you a win.
So, Billy, let me just bring to the viewers a couple important dates. Lots of tournaments. We're coming into the close of the season. Junior Nationals, February 28th in Summit, New Jersey. Juniors can sign up now. It's the biggest event of the season for junior paddle. And tomorrow morning, registration for the Men's and Women's Nationals hosted by Canoe Brook in Summit, New Jersey, March 6th, 7th, and 8th. That opens tomorrow as well. So, yeah, lots of paddle, lots of opportunities for both juniors and as well, you know, PTI and other age-related events that the APTA is putting on. So, yeah, this is getting into the crunch time of our season, but yeah, a lot of paddle left.
Yeah, this is the really exciting part of the season here, where you're getting the middle end of the season, where you have the Boston Open and then and the tour event in between, and then Short Hills, and now the Cincinnati event in a few weeks, and then all leading up to that national schedule, that March national schedule of men's and women's nationals, husband and wife nationals, junior nationals, and now for the past 5 or 6 years, team nationals, which has been such a hit with all levels of club players. And I think, Steve, you said it, the men are playing in New Jersey this year for team nationals, and the women's team nationals is out in Chicago.
Yeah, that's right. So that's the weekend of March 28th and 29th. For the men, and women April 11th and 12th, but that's right, women in Chicago this year. And the other change, or interesting thing that they're doing, is nationals in Summit, New Jersey at Canoe Brook. The same weekend will be our Masters Nationals, so 50, 60, and 70 plus. Also, right down the road, Indian Trail Club, March 6th and 7th. So yeah, lots of
same time, same place. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, same time, same general place. Yeah.
That'll make for what will already be a fantastic atmosphere in New Jersey even better. Here we go, Lofgren and West up 30 love again on their serve. This has been a consistent score line to their service games. Quick starts. Making
a lot of good lobbing. Yeah, a lot of good lobbing by Tom Murphy. Oh, that's just an unbelievable Eric West / overhead cutter. Yeah, I mean, Tom Murphy's opening up the court. He almost caught Eric West with sort of a softie to the side after he went behind Randy Lofgren to cover one of those lobs. So this is the power of the lob. We talk about the down the line lob with Randy Lofgren so close to the net. You either want to, get him off the net or start creating openings, and that's what they did. But Eric West shut that down. So big 40-30 point here to get back to 3-all. Just missed. I love the take.
I do too. That's set up there for his forehand. That's his shot. You cannot pass up your shot when you have it. Crunch time. The all-important 7th game.
Yeah, this is what we thought would come in the second set, and of course what we wanted. So yeah, nice to see both teams sort of grinding here to extend points and get much deeper into the games as well. So let's see which team flinches here.
That's his shot. That's his shot again. I mean, just like that forehand, that drop shot where he's moving is Tom Murphy's shot. Little early game hiccup. I would love to see Eric West and Randy Lofgren put a little extra pressure. Yep, here we go. Oh, good volley by Murphy. I'll tell you what, Steve. When's the last time you saw Randy Lofgren make an unforced error?
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. He has settled in really well to this match, especially in this second set. Was that a miss there? I couldn't tell. Maybe a missed drive.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I heard a nick, but then they high-fived, so I guess it made it through.
1540. Yep,
Yeah.
1540. You can see Eric West just dialing in a little bit that movement. He's on his toes at the baseline. But he's looking to be dynamic here on these break points. Yep, a lot of court coverage there. Interesting that they stayed in this point. I didn't really even see, they didn't switch sides in the backcourt.
Huge.
Big
Huge
time
hands.
game.
Yeah, huge hands, huge movement, and just putting his presence in front of, Schneider there. Just, really nice play there by Randy Lofgren.
And now it's Eric West's lefty serve. As they change
All right,
ends.
let's give a couple score updates. So a little bit of a changing of the tides. McNerney Morgan up 3-love in the second set, where there's a sudden deuce point, and Fraser Rahm's 6-3, 4-1 leading.
Mm-hmm.
And Nunez Powers 6-love, but 1-2 in the second.
I mean, I think, Steve, we both knew McNerney Morgan, they can buckle down, right? They can go on lockdown, and it's really hard to beat them in that match. Graham and Adam are both masters of adjustments and steady play, and curious in the long term how that match will play out.
Well, I think we lost Ronnie Schneider there in the camera view, and I think the ball, also couldn't find him. So, yeah, very difficult. That ball goes up and comes down into the corner.
There it is again, burying him back there. Not where you want to see Ronnie Schneider up in the court. You want to see him up on that baseline. You want to trust, if you're a team that plays together a lot, Murphy and Schneider, you want to trust your team strategy and your team dynamic and what's worked for you. But I also think you want to give the other team a different look as well. Maybe just a point, maybe 2 points, just switch in the backcourt, disrupt the rhythm that Lofgren and West clearly have when they get to the net. It's got to be something, whether it's changing your individual court position or switching sides, as West Lofgren did in the first set. I think they look a little too comfortable with their choices and their positioning.
Wow, he made it.
Did he make? That's amazing.
That's just, unfortunately, great setup, but Ronnie Schneider's got to sort of understand how that's setting up. Tom Murphy, of course, he's going to try and find a way to follow that in and get the transition secured. Sort of put him in a bad position there.
Well, that's something that Eric West is just amazing at, the transition play, right? So yeah, Murphy hits this big, powerful ground stroke. What a hit! But West, with his speed and his racket skills, is able to take that offense and bring it right back to the team on the other side.
Yeah, if you're Murphy Schneider, you got to sort of shake it off. You got to figure out. I like your comments, Billy, about thinking about doing something different, giving a couple different looks, so the match doesn't start falling into a rhythm against them, right? So, really important game.
Right, and it's hard to do if you're a team that has as much success as Murphy Schneider does. You trust that success, and it's hard, especially because these points are good points. They're long points for the most part. but you have to have that feeling. Are we getting the looks we want? Do we feel like we're moving the other team? And if you don't feel like those things are happening, then it's worth, trying to change a little bit, just to ask different questions of your opponents. Good start to this game by Murphy and Schneider, or rather, maybe loose start to this game by Lofgren and West. That's my favorite offensive shot, especially with West and Lofgren set up on these sides of the court. Ronnie Schneider has a nice inside-out roller, and he has a nice inside-in roller that he can play through Lofgren's body like that.
Yeah, Lofgren's been playing it a couple different ways. Some he's been letting sort of go around him and playing it coming back with his forehand, but the last two, Ronnie's hit the right roller that moves him to the side screen, and he's tried to sort of move with it and play it as a backhand. So it's all going to be based on, how much that ball moves off that back screen. I think there's a lot of variability in the spins that Ronnie Schneider can put on it. So nice point there.
Great serve by Tom Murphy, painting that line. Fraser Roms get the victory in the quarterfinals, 6-3, 6-1. That's a solid win. I'm curious to see how they do, no matter who they face in that semifinals. I like the team of Fraser Roms. A lot of talent.
Yeah, they're the top half of the draw, so you can see the draw scrolling there. So Fraser Roms will move up and play the winner of McNerney Morgan, Hanson Mandel. McNerney Morgan now up 4-1 in that second set. All right, up a break. Randy Lofgren serving for the second set. Getting himself settled.
We haven't talked about how tricky the combination of lefty serve and righty low contact serve must be to receive. I mean, that is just a different combination of serves that you don't see every day from a team. Righty or righty lefty. Good lob. Randy Lofgren is just reading that drive so well.
Yeah, just push it over there. He makes Ronnie Schneider make a choice, right, to chase it off before it gets to the side screen, or sort of not know if it's going to make it all the way to the back screen. So
the doors open a crack here.
Yep, quick points.
Great job. Whoa, that's
Huge.
A big forehand again.
Massive Tom Murphy forehand. Maybe not the one you'd necessarily take, but I think the energy of that point just came right into his wheelhouse.
He'll take it, Steve.
Yeah, and there he goes again. Just that one is just an absolute rip, and tough break for Randy Lofgren, but I think the other team, Murphy and Schneider, just hit some big, big shots.
Yeah, good on Tom Murphy stepping up and changing gears and firing off 2 massive forehands. Back on serve.
Yeah, new ball. I think Ronnie's probably going to want to take a couple here. Those balls in the pockets of the umpire definitely need a little bit of a warm-up. All right, here he goes. 5-all. Ronnie Schneider serving far side.
Amazing how quickly this sport, the flow of it, the feel of it can change a little bit.
Yeah, we talk a lot about the momentum swings in platform tennis. It's unique. The game just has a certain type of energy dynamic that can go back and forth very quickly, but quickly from 5-3 down to back to 5-all. We talked about that just huge 1-2. Those 2 forehands from Tom Murphy in the last 2 points of the last game came just at the right time.
Great spot by Eric West on that drive. This is where in the match each team just has to keep communicating early, communicate in between points what you're trying to do. You're seeing West and Lofgren staying on their receiving sides in this point. I wouldn't be surprised if 2 points from now you see them switch in the backcourt.
Came through hot, but just missed. A little bit of a different execution of that shot. Flattened it out a little bit there, just too much. But yeah, big serve to challenge.
Yeah, that was a good serve by Schneider. Different speed.
Eric West, competitive juices are back.
Mm-hmm.
I like the talk. It's just a huge point.
Yep. Redefine where are we serving this ball? Where as Tom Murphy, where are you covering on the net? Little foot fake there from Tom Murphy. Right on the baseline with that drive. I was waiting for that. I was thinking that Tom Murphy forehand was coming again. He missed that one though. All right, get this ball in play, Randy Lofgren. Put it in play, bud. There you go. Now we're in the point.
Sudden deuce.
Easy choice.
Server's choice. They're going to Lofgren. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah, best return of the game. Best return of the game there by Randy Lofgren.
Biggest point of the match here, Steve. 5-5, 1 point deuce.
tough miss, but I think it's also a tough movement choice. You could see he was, and Tom Murphy sort of stopped a little bit. He almost created some movement, Ronnie Schneider, moving into the center to take that ball that I don't know that there's any value moving to that spot, right? He, in some ways, the point's really quiet and sort of,
I think it created a bit of an act of randomness off of West's racket, where West didn't really hit a lob, didn't really hit a drive, and it caught Schneider off guard.
Yeah.
Indecisive. There's a little question mark on the call there, and they're gonna, nice sportsmanship, redo the point.
That was tight there too.
Yeah, that's the best part of paddle. The big moment. We're making the calls as best we can, and all four players nicely agree. Let's redo that point.
Yeah, after a couple of huge forehands, Tom Murphy's sort of covered up a couple of them there.
Oh my goodness.
Nice coverage.
Seriously. From both sides.
Yeah.
This is a good idea. Let's not go to Tom Murphy's forehand right now. He is looking for it and feeling it.
Yeah, I think he heard me.
Earlier in this set, we talked about adjustments, right? Trusting your team setup. We were talking particularly about Murphy and Schneider. How do you adjust? And one way to adjust is to start stepping into some shots that you weren't stepping into before, and Tom Murphy has certainly done that.
Yeah, love that one right there.
Yeah,
just
me
that
too.
that probing softy.
Not a shot you want to do often, but really nice touch by Murphy, and also nice touch by Lofgren there at the end. 30 love. 2 points away from the set. I believe I just saw that Nunez Powers won against Ong and his partner, shaking hands on the adjacent court. That is an amazing spin overhead.
Yeah, really difficult for Ronnie Schneider to pick up the best way to play that ball. Just jumped off the screen.
Yep, Nunez Powers 6-0, 6-2 over Ong and Wagner.
And we're in a third set. McNerney Morgan take the second 6-1. Puts a little stress now, right? You're up 40 love. Now 40-30, no one sudden deuces right behind it. Yep, that's coming. Love it. Big Tom Murphy forehand. And I think he just caught Weston Lofgren a little bit mobile. Just hit it right through the gut. Oh, what an unbelievable 4-point stretch.
4 straight set points from Wes Lofgren.
Love it. Love it. Live by
Tom
the sword,
Murphy.
die by the sword. Yeah. All right, here we go. Tie break.
Ooh, tricky little drive there.
Oh, he's gonna take it. He was praying.
He was
Just a little
absolutely-
bit of a different execution of that shot.
I love the body language there from Schneider. That's a great overhead. Just missed.
Yeah, it looked wide from this angle. Just missed. Good first point.
All right, I don't know, Steve. Who do you got here? A little momentum in Murphy Schneider's favor, right? The
Yeah,
energy.
Points. I mean, it's easy to say. I just had a little bit of a vibe that they have rattled Randy Lofgren a little bit with some monster Tom Murphy forehands, but also a couple missed volleys. So this point is huge.
It looks it. The energy just looks like Tom Murphy and Schneider are moving their feet. They're between points, they're high-fiving. We've seen that from both teams in this match, but the energy looks to be right at the moment on one side, but we know how quickly that can change. Big time volley.
All right, it's Ronnie Schneider. Oh, just made it over. That positioning's perfect unless you get that perfect ground stroke right on the net tape.
I like the play though with Murphy closing off the serve. He's good at that, moving into the volley.
Yeah, huge backhand there. Randy Lofgren stepping up.
Yep, and just right. Anything you can do, I can do better. One player steps up their game, and then you see the other side doing the same. I like this team talk. How are we going to handle this ground stroke here?
Yeah, it is the pressures on Murphy Schneider in a way, right? Because they do not want to go 3 sets, right? If you're hoping to play in a semifinal match, the last thing you want to do is add another 45 minutes to your day. So the challenge for them is that they may press a little bit, but if you're Weston Lofgren, you're not going home either, right? So.
Right. Well, that's so true, Steve. On the other side, though, you're coming off a 40-love 6-5 game that you ended up losing. Mentally, how good do you feel with the lead? I mean, you want to lead, but you understand what I'm saying there.
Yeah.
How good do you feel that you can close this out? Great get by Ronnie Schneider off that overhead. Pendulum swings back in the other direction. Wow.
Really nice dig. Oh, how do you leave that?
I don't know.
Just trusting Eric West has his back.
And how do you see it if you're Eric West with Randy Lofgren, who is at least 6'2", if not much taller than that, in front of you?
Boom. Oh, big. Love it. Just a big point. All right. Just an absolute.
Well, now we have 4 set
Yeah.
points, Steve.
Yeah.
So we're definitely not going to lose 4, right?
We are not. Let's make an easy call there. But there's one. Starts with 1. All right, switch sides. Looks like Randy Lofgren's going to serve. Little pressure on that underhand.
Gosh, he has been about as carefree with that forehand and confident with it in big moments, except for that one. Good set.
Yeah, really, really nice set. And we will be right back in just a moment after these messages. We are coming back from APTA YouTube channel with live streaming by Streambox Labs and match statistics provided by Court Director.
A lot of founders start out with an idea, maybe in a garage, in a shared workspace, and really being a co-pilot along that whole journey from ideation to execution to maybe monetization one day is really the role we've decided to take in the marketplace. So I feel like we have really found a part of the market and offering that just really hasn't existed. It's this coaching, it's therapy, it's co-piloting on a journey that is unique.
Draw at 4:30. Welcome back to the APTA Tour. I'm Steve Sullivan here with Billy Horn at the Woodstock Club with this men's quarterfinal match between our 4th seeds, Tom Murphy and Ronnie Schneider, and Randy Lofgren and Eric West on the other side of the net. Here's some of the match statistics from Court Director for our second set. Billy, really exciting finish with some back and forth. What'd you see?
Oh, man. How many momentum swings can we take in this match? Some great points, some high energy shots, some very, very solid playing from both sides of the court. And I saw some big time, stepping up from players, from Tom Murphy, from Randy Lofgren, both in the tiebreaker and throughout the set. I am excited, and I don't know if I can make a call on this third set.
Yeah, I think the second set was more competitive from the get-go, right? We got, 1-0, 1-all, 2-1, 2-all, right? It stayed tight from the beginning. That first set sort of ran one way and then tightened back up. Yeah, there was a lot of momentum swings, not just, we talked about that 40 love game. That was a little bit of a big swing to get, into the tiebreaker for Murphy Schneider. But yeah, this is even the tiebreaker, some back and forth with some big offense. Tom Murphy's forehand was huge at some times, but then there were a couple big, Eric West and Randy Lofgren ground strokes as well that they just stepped up in a couple huge points, up 4-2, up 5-2 to go up 6-2 for 4 set points. I think that was when Randy Lofgren, ripped a backhand. So yeah, this is a little bit of a pick-em. Obviously, these two want to get to the semifinals. It's a tour event. We're in Indy. We're getting into the meat of the season. Next week, Short Hills, then Midwesterns back at Cincinnati for the last Grand Prix, and then Nationals a couple weeks after that at Canoe Brook, March 6th and 7th and 8th. So, yeah, this is good paddle. I'd love to see Eric West back. We talked about that. He played a lot last year with Tyler Frazier. So, great to see Eric West, here competing and playing some big paddle.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting set for sure. One that might come down to confidence, to player energy and team energy, rather than one particular strategy that one team has or the other. We're pretty set in those at this point, where both teams kind of know what they're doing, know what they're trying to do, and it's just going to come down to execution, I think.
Yeah, we're the bottom of the draw. The prize here is to face Nunez Powers in the semifinals on the schedule for 4:30. Is probably going to drift a little later. So yeah, great opportunity to play one of the best teams Nunez Powers, winning nationals a couple years ago at the Country Club up in Brookline. So yeah, this is a great, third set we're about to see. I think both teams are going to bring it.
And we see the players refueling here, going off the court to get, an extra water or extra Gatorade, and hopefully talking to each other and getting their third set energy ready to go.
Yeah, I played, I mentioned, Billy, I played this morning. I just bring the weather back up. So we got a feels like 8. The wind's a little softer. The flurries haven't left. You see the snow in the background. It is surprising. Every time I come home from playing winter paddle, start peeling the layers off, how much you can still sweat and feels like 8-degree weather. So yeah, keep hydrating. It's a long day. These are marathon days, these tour events, and the players are putting 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or more hours on the court in a given Saturday. So yeah, take a break, refuel, maybe change a shirt, get a new towel. Tom Murphy just walking back on the court here.
And this is maybe, we just talked about at the very beginning of the match, Eric West not playing a whole lot this year on the tour. This is maybe where I wouldn't say it would be quite physical fatigue that would set in, but maybe that mental fatigue of the 2 close sets and having to play longer points than you might be used to in a league match, let's say, and having to make all those little mental calculations point by point. That kind of stuff can add up as a match goes on, and teams that have been playing a little bit more on tour have to make that longevity happen more frequently.
And he plays a hard, from an arm and a shoulder perspective. Eric West plays a hard game. He likes to swing at that overhead. He swings away at the ground strokes, but yeah, so it could be a combination of things. Like I said before, love seeing him back. Had a chance to see him in Baltimore, coming down to the Baltimore Open, one of our big, events for the APTA Tour. And yeah, he's a great competitor. You saw his energy and his competitiveness sort of ramp up in that second set. A lot of high-fiving, getting his partner Randy Lofgren into this match, which he also stepped up at exactly the right time in the tiebreaker. So yeah, looking forward to the third set, and here comes Eric West.
Is there anything we can look at from the first, or I should say the second set, that we might want to adjust if we're either team? Or are we just talking trust? We just talking trust and continuing, as we are?
We talked a little bit about that one switch, putting backhands in the center, not the traditional move, but you have Randy Lofgren and Eric West backhand, which are just huge. They did that a little bit into the second set. I think it worked. They didn't do it a ton towards the end of the second set. So, to me, it's trust more of the same. I think you need to sort of figure out in this game of momentum swings, what's working. That was not the shortest break, right? So both teams need to sort of very quickly make sure the blood's flowing in the legs and get off to a big start here. Yeah, this is that big cut, slash overhead you see from Eric West that, ball can really move off that back screen.
If you're just joining us at home, we have Eric West at the bottom of our screen in the lighter colored top with Randy Lofgren in the blue. And at the top of our screen, we have Tom Murphy in the all black and Ronnie Schneider, his partner in the ad court, in the lighter color top at the top of our screen at the baseline.
Little miscommunication. They figured that one out.
But I like the energy there from Ronnie Schneider, moving a little bit more than I've seen him move in the second set. A little more dynamic. That's how he thrives. That movement, that energy.
Yeah, big twister on the back screen. Eric West looks like he's sort of feeling it. Oh, that's just beautiful positioning. But, Randy Lofgren's got a little bit of that two-hand sort of like push directional volley. Stays low. Yeah, unreturnable. Really nice spot.
And I think that's just discipline on Murphy's part, right? And Ronnie Schneider looked a little frustrated that he didn't get that ball back. You know, he is super athletic and agile, but to be in that situation where you have to make that agility play it's not easy to do.
That's the look they brought late in the second set, sort of going a little bit making Ronnie Schneider think about that.
We did see Lofgren and West go away from switching in the backcourt, going back to the traditional lefty-righty forehands in the center towards the end of that set, kind of finding a feeling, a flow from that side. Quick game, nice hold from Eric West. You know, interesting, going from set to set, who starts serving. Lofgren started serving the second set and seemed to be doing pretty well, but then this set, you know, there's something that they saw that they liked from Eric West's serve to make him go out and start that setup.
Yeah, a switch of sides, so that just tells you it's a very conscious decision to have Eric start that set.
Unlucky let court there, or lucky let court, depending on which side you're on.
Oh, he missed it, just jammed him. I think if he could have gotten out of the way of that, he would have.
Yep, good volley by Ronnie Schneider. I do like the idea of the blitz, though, on the love 30 point. Here we go. Schneider, Murphy being disciplined about their target on their overheads. I think they're going to do this all day. Oh, here's a switch in the back to change that target. And you can see how quickly that patient point turned into a fast point. Just by switching spots at the back.
Yeah, changed the rhythm a little bit, but Eric West got the theoretical ball that they were looking for, which is why they switched. It's a little low energy on the legs.
Couldn't get his feet grounded.
Yeah.
Break point. Oh, that is a brave lead.
He's let a few of those go. They haven't all worked in his favor, but yeah, I agree. Here we go, sudden deuce.
That's such a patient move there, where if you're Lofgren and West, you see that your opponent allowed a ball to bounce. And a lot of club players at home would see that and just sprint forward automatically. Yeah. Right. And neither one of them even took a step forward. They just let Schneider play that ball, and they both were ready to drive instead of try to play transition paddle. Early break from Lofgren West.
I wasn't sure if that was why the hell are you going to him or going there, but yeah, once they're both moving forward, either you got it or you got to bail, right? You got to send that lob up and get, back in position. There's nothing Ronnie Schneider can do there.
It's not often you see two pros go forward at the same time like that. Generally one of them will stay back and be able to pull that parachute and slow that point down. Ooh, that was a low percentage overhead there by West.
Just missed.
Great drive. Great drive. So difficult. And I know a lot of these top players, yes, get everything back and they make it look so comfortable. But that is a tough shot from a lefty inside out overhead.
Wow. The screen shake made it a little bit difficult to see exactly what happened, but Tom Murphy rips a forehand that hits something very solid in and around Randy Lofgren. So, yeah, they needed that game, obviously, to get on the board in the third set. But, yeah, just you see Randy putting his hands down there maybe. Hopefully it's exhaustion and not shaking off that bullet from Tom Murphy.
That's kind of part of the game when you have a drive as big as Murphy has is you go at them or between them, right? And Lofgren is not one to shy away from the net, so you need to throw some big punches at him. And I think Lofgren understands that that's part of the deal if you're going to get that close to the net. Big break back from Murphy Schneider to get in this set, keep it on serve. I think something to watch, going forward, Steve, is on that Lofgren serve to the deuce court with Tom Murphy. Are you going to make a change? Are you going to play I formation there and make Murphy go for a different target, or are you going to serve and stay back? Because that has been a consistent advantage for Murphy and Schneider.
All hands, Tom Murphy. Just, yeah,
Wow.
unfortunate miss there, but really liked how he just stayed home, kept his feet underneath him, and just sort of, used his hand behind the paddle, staying that point. Yeah, he's going to take one of those.
I love what I'm hearing from Eric West. Every overhead is yours, mine, even though it's going to that same target quite a bit.
You saw him jump there. He's going to take another. He's going to pull the trigger on another one coming up here.
How early that call is coming too from Eric West. It's before the ball's landing. Yours, mine. Making it clear, concise. I love the discipline from Murphy Schneider. Committed to that target and saying, you cannot beat us if we hit our overhead here. And it's equally good patience by Randy Lofgren. Not
Yeah,
feeling the need to change, not feeling the need to do more.
Yeah, do you just pick your spots? You look for a switch if you're West and Lofgren to try and even. Oh, he got the backhand.
I think he was as surprised as he got the backhand as anyone. This is the first time we've seen Schneider and Murphy on opposite sides of the baseline. And it happened because of the pressure, but I'm curious how this point looks. Switching out. Yeah, that's probably why they haven't switched. Maybe Schneider doesn't have a lot of experience over there playing the lefty spin that West can bring. Murphy might have more experience dealing with that lefty overhead. Steve, I'm just gonna give the nod a little bit to Lofgren and West there, knowing that every time I've said that, things have switched back the other direction. I just think they look super solid and confident in what they're doing. Where Murphy and Schneider look like they're trying to figure out a way to create, which is, in a match of this quality is hard to do.
Another little net court there.
Eric West looking very confident right now. Doing a good job, Murphy and Schneider are moving Eric West around. And that creates the opening like that.
Yeah, perfect execution by Ronnie Schneider. I was about to say the movement's good for Schneider Murphy if Eric West gives him an opportunity, and he hadn't until that point. Very nice placement of the overheads and volleys.
Yeah, that was one of the first overheads that West maybe overhit a little bit. He's doing a great job of keeping his speed and momentum of that ball slow.
That's going to be tough.
Good read. Good read that time.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was coming. What I was going to say is Eric West's arm just feels nice and relaxed and loose in this third set. He came out swinging from the first game, which I love to see. Nice defense there.
is a good baseline game from Schneider and Murphy. Starts with the lob movement, finishes with making volleyers reach. And as much as I like the dynamic overheads of Eric West, I think these are a couple points where he just needs to pick a target and say, let's see if you can beat us from here.
There it is. Monster forehand by Tom Murphy.
Yeah. You're just curious, from those overheads, and I know he's been having a lot of success slashing at the ball. Can he go back and just push the ball down the middle a little bit more often in those tighter points? Great break.
There's that result. McNerney Morgan pull out 1-1 finish after a really good first set there by Hansen and Mandel. So that semi is set. Top half, they will face Fraser Roms. The winner of this will feed into Nunez Powers, our 2 seeds. Tom Murphy back on serve, 2-3, third set.
Good
Yeah,
job.
I was going to say, Billy, I like the thoughts on Eric playing, really loose arm, swinging away, but is it too much, right? Is it too many, is that push overhead doing a little bit more variability important here?
Yeah, I think it depends. You hate to look at a scoreboard and say, but I think it just depends on the moment, right?
Yeah.
Some points you have to buckle down and say, no, this is not a dynamic point. This is a steady point. That was a really good volley by Tom Murphy. West has been moving forward like that and hitting a flat drive, and he threw a curveball there. Nice calm volley by Murphy. Yeah, in the end, is that what it's going to come down to? That the discipline of Murphy and Schneider versus the creativity of Eric West, and what kind of damage he can do.
Yeah, a lot of movement there by Ronnie Schneider. If you're Randy Lofgren, sometimes you just get a little bit distracted versus just executing and staying in that point.
Well, I think he was so surprised that Murphy gave him a backhand.
Yeah.
For the first time in 2 sets. And this is how this match has gone, like the flow of it. 2 or 3 games to Lofgren and West, and then 2 or 3 games to Murphy Schneider.
Yeah, it's been a whipsaw a little bit back and forth here. But here we are, 3-all. 7th game doesn't matter, right?
Oh,
Randy Lofgren to serve.
love that play from Eric West, protecting his partner at the net from that cross-court drive. Crunch time here. This is where you got to be disciplined, like that overhead. Here we go. 3 overheads down the middle in a row from Eric West.
You saw Eric West's his feet speed up there. He thought he was a little bit out of position, so quickly recovered. And now get back in a little momentum here, but I feel like Tom Murphy wants to pull the trigger.
Yeah, you saw him slide over to the middle of that court there on that good lob. That was a good move. Good lob. This is a fantastic paddle point from both teams.
Yeah, nice move by Ronnie, and then hit the ball he got. Retreated back to let the point resettle. Oh, tough let court.
Yeah, but that's where I think you just need to reset the point down the middle and then go back to work when you're a little more settled. And you're just seeing at the moment the discipline and the positioning of Murphy and Schneider winning out over all the variety of West Lofgren. Even if West threw in some soft spins, right, everything seems to be coming off his paddle powerfully with pace, and that can happen when you're in a tight moment and your emotions and the physical aspect of the game is elevated. Great cat.
Sneaky little forehand there. Just got sucked up in the corner. Points seem like they're worth a lot more at this stage, don't they, Billy?
Absolutely. Now this is the deuce court serve. Yep, that's what I was. The deuce court serve has just been that one issue. Murphy's return off of Lofgren's serve. You can just see how, you can hear it almost on the screen, how heavy that ball is coming off of West's racket.
Yeah, the right move by Ronnie Schneider. Eric West is just staying home.
Out call by West, confirmed by the umpire. Here we are back to that deuce serve. Or 30-all serve, deuce court serve.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's almost three-quarter. That one was a little softer, but just a huge top. This ball come really dipping quick. Lofgren wasn't sure how to play it.
Good
all right,
move,
deuce.
Ad court, smart. Yeah. I think Lofgren's just having a little trouble serving it down the tee to the deuce. Big time hold. 1 point deuce again.
Yeah, I think that's not the first back and forth we've seen or going to see for the next 3 or more games.
Steve, I thought the Boston Open draw was pretty loaded. I took a look at the team signed up next weekend for Short Hills. both the men's and the women's, and wow, it's even tougher. We get everybody's turning out for these tournaments this time of year. It's an amazing thing the APTA has done, bringing us so much action week to week, and the players are embracing it. They're into it.
Yeah, we have 5 Grand Prix this year. So we mentioned Short Hills and the Midwesterns in Cincinnati coming up. Last year, I think we had 4 Grand Prix. So yeah, just going a little bit bigger.
I am betting that we're going to see Lofgren and West switch in the back a couple times this game. Just shaking it up one more time. You know, one thing I will say from Lofgren and West is they've taken leads, and I know Murphy Schneider has come back, or is it more of West and Lofgren relaxing because they have a lead and then tightening it back up? I'm not quite sure which one is happening. Sometimes if it is because you took a lead and you get a little lax or you get a little loose, sometimes those things can bite you in the end.
Yeah, big energy there from Eric West. Yep.
Yeah, I like those forehand ground strokes.
Yeah, you just see a lot more patience from both teams.
I mean, ultimately, the end product that West and Lofgren are looking for is that West forehand, no matter how it's created. Like in that last point, back-to-back forehands from West. How can you set it up? Through a series of lobs, through a series of drives. There's a series of lobs, sets up that forehand. And now we're back to work. Good volleys by Murphy Schneider.
Like the little ground stroke point, just make them, these are some feel volleys. Sometimes that soft, higher volley is not so easy. 40 shots into a point to hit. Nice cover there.
Great.
Yeah. You called it. Just a dipper, right? Just that really nice pace, but dipping forehand topspin.
There's so much variety with that West forehand. And that, full credit to West hitting that last ball, but also a lot of credit to Lofgren there in that point. Moving the opponents around, varying his shots, not going too big. Playing good high percentage paddle.
Eric's, there you go. You see that nice little shuffle split step.
Yep, and that time it's Lofgren's drive that sets up West's forehand. Here it is again. Boom.
Oh, it just missed. I think it just missed. Yep. All right.
1540.
Wow. Great move. Ronnie Schneider just sort of anticipated. I mean, he didn't stay home. He moved to that ball, just read it and, pushed it right back in the corner. Loved it.
Look at Lofgren sliding a little more middle in this game.
Yeah. You're playing with fire, letting that ball go into the corner.
Glad he passed that one up.
Again, you start 40-15. Now you got to grind and not wanting to face the sudden deuce point after this.
Oh, on the baseline.
Yeah, it felt high from this angle.
Yeah, I thought it was a smart leave from Ronnie Schneider. Oh, it was there. There was an opening.
Yeah. Yep, that's the one to take. Good paddle.
This is where Lofgren and West with the leads. They've rushed a little bit. Can they just stay solid here and walk away with the win?
Yeah, a little slouch there. Tom Murphy wants both these last 2 points back.
Yeah, forcing it just a little bit.
All right, going with the eye, going to make Ronnie Schneider think about placement here.
I love that formation and serve in a big point. Eye formation, serve to the tee, especially against a strong returner like Ronnie Schneider. Just give him no angles. Trust your volleys.
Yeah, he moved that one more towards the center of the court than he has in most of the match. Eric West just swung away at that serve. Oh, great dig.
Great get. Another great get. Uh-oh. Yeah, 3 in a row is tough to do. Double, are we calling this double match point or triple match point?
You know what? We're calling it triple match point. I get it wrong every match, but here we go. It's match point. Let's see, a big challenge first serve there.
I think that's Eric West calling out his own roller. Like calling the home run. I think it's the opposite, though. I think he's protecting Randy from the Tom Murphy forehand. Nice chip. That's a nice chip, and I think Eric West was expecting Lofgren to pick that off. All right, 1 match point saved.
Oh boy.
That's a great match.
What a match. What a match.
That's a great match. Good job by both teams. Congratulations to Lofgren West. Moving on.
Yeah, there he is. 4-6, 7-6, 6-3.
Look at those stats. That is very close.
Yeah, summary for the match. I mean, look at the sudden deuce. I mean, obviously
right.
we felt the momentum swings. We felt sort of the match tighten up. The first set sort of went quickly in a couple different directions, but certainly nice to see that many sudden deuce points. And hey, they went to the victors. Surprise, surprise.
Mm-hmm. That was a great match.
Yeah, I looking forward to the semifinals. So we have 2 semifinals coming up. So stay tuned on the APTA YouTube network. Following probably the next 20-30 minutes, both semifinals will come on. For Billy Horn, I'm Steve Sullivan, and that's a wrap.
Thanks, Steve.
The business owners that I'm working with have entrusted Corient in this work because we're really focused on supporting them in their important endeavors. They're functioning every day in their zone of genius, and their expectation of us is we're doing the same. My name is Anna Diaz. I'm a partner and wealth advisor at Corient. When we think about the work we're doing for our clients, we think about first financial, absolutely. It is not uncommon that our very successful business owners and clients are making disjointed decisions. Our job is to provide a proactive strategy so the filter in which they make these decisions is informed. Second is the emotional load. Our clients often are asking themselves, what am I missing? Our job is to remove that mental load so they feel that their strategy is optimized, is simplified, and is executed cleanly. And the third is generational. Absolutely, there is technical design that goes into that, but it is also the thoughtful impact they want to have with what they've created.